Welcome to today's training. As you can see today, we're going to be focusing on the real reason you don't have your dream body yet. But before we dive in, my name is M. I'm a fitness and mindset coach. I also go by Plantabolic on all social platforms, and I focus specifically on body recomposition and maximizing human performance in mind, body, and spirit. I work with driven and ambitious men, high performers, creators, and entrepreneurs, and I help them master how they move, think, eat, and recover. This channel is where I share what I've learned and what I'm still learning so you can put it to work in your own life. And if you want to work with me, then you can book a one-on-one call by going to the link in the description. And if you want this training or the document that goes along with it, then you can join my free community in the description below as well. As you can see, the overview for today is going to be focusing on the reframe most people get backwards, the 4 stories keeping you stuck, why this actually works, the mechanism that we use to create change, and the action steps that you can take today after today's video. He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. Sun Tzu, a general, military strategist and philosopher, wrote that thousands of years ago, and it has nothing to do with the gym. It might be one of the most important things that you hear about your body all year. I want to be straight with you before we start. This is not a guru soapbox. I'm not going to hype you up for 10 minutes and send you off feeling motivated and changing nothing. By the end of this video, you are going to understand the actual reason you are stuck. You are going to name the stories that have been keeping you there, and you are going to walk away with the exact steps to become the person who finally gets the result. Hand to God, the difference between you and the version of you that has the dream body is not a workout plan. It's not a secret diet. It is mindset. And I'm about to show you exactly what that means. Because most people who say it is all mindset cannot tell you what to actually do about it. I can. Here's a thing nobody tells you. You do not get the dream body and then become disciplined, then become the consistent person. It happens in the opposite order. You become the person who trains, who eats with intention, who tracks, who shows up when they do not feel like it, and the body shows up as the byproduct. Read that again, because it changes everything. The physique is the downstream of the identity. Think about anyone you know who is genuinely in great shape and stays that way. They're not white-knuckling their way through every day, fighting themselves to go to the gym. For them, it's just who they are. They train the way that you brush your teeth. Not because they have superhuman willpower, but because the action stopped being a decision a long time ago. It became identity. So the real question is not how do I lose weight or how do I build muscle? The real question is how do I become the kind of person for whom losing the weight and building the muscle is just what they naturally do? Answer that and the body is inevitable. Skip it and you will keep starting over every January for the rest of your life. That is the work, and it starts with clearing out the stories that are standing in your way. So these are the 4 stories that are keeping you stuck. I want to name the 4 most common limiting beliefs that I see, because I promise you that you're carrying at least one of these right now. And the moment you can see a belief clearly, it loses most of its power over you. The first story. It is my genetics. It is my metabolism. I have always been this way. Here's the truth. Genetics set a range. They do not set a verdict. And almost nobody is anywhere close to the edge of their own range because they have never been consistent long enough to find out. The people who blame their genetics are usually the same people who have never strung together 6 months in a row. You do not actually know what your body is capable of yet. You have only met the untrained, inconsistent version of it. The second story is, I just do not have the discipline. This is one of the most damaging because it sounds like humility, but it's actually a trap. Discipline is not a personality trait that you were either born with or without. Discipline is a byproduct. It comes from identity and environment. The disciplined person you envy is not gritting their teeth harder than you. They have simply arranged their life so the right action is the easy action. You do not lack discipline, you lack a system, and you lack an identity that makes the action automatic. Those are buildable. Willpower is not the lever. This is. The third story. I do not have time. You don't have time for the version of fitness that you're imagining. The 2 hours in the gym, the meal prep for a small army, the perfect routine. You're right. You do not have time for that. And the good news, you do not need it. You absolutely have time for the version that actually works, which is consistency on a few high leverage actions. Time was never the real problem. The size of the imagined task was the problem. We are going to shrink that. The fourth story. I have failed before, so I will fail again. Every past attempt was not a failure. It was data and it was reps. You were not even the same person then. And here is what matters most. Almost every past attempt failed for a structural reason, not a personal one. No real plan, no accountability, an all or nothing approach that collapsed the first time life got in the way. That is not you being incapable. That's simply a broken setup, and we fixed the setup. I want you to pause right now and be honest with yourself. Which of those four is the loudest in your head? Say it out loud. Write it down. Naming it is the first rep. I don't want you to take any of this on faith, so let me show you the mechanism underneath it. Your identity is not a fixed thing. It is built from evidence. Every single action you take is a small vote for the type of person you are. Train today, that is one vote for I am someone who trains. Skip it, that is one vote the other way. You're casting votes all day long, whether you realize it or not. Here is why that is the best news that you will hear today. You do not have to win the election in a day. We know it doesn't work like that. You do not have to transform overnight. You just have to start casting votes in the right direction and let them stack. Stack enough of them, and one morning you wake up and it's no longer something you're trying to do. It's simply who you are. Now, Newton, people quote his third law and think it only applies to physics. But Newton was an alchemist too. And the principle runs deeper than they realize. For every new identity you build, there is an equal and opposite old identity that you have to release. You cannot become the person who trains consistently while still quietly protecting your identity as someone who is just not a gym person. Both can't live within you at once. One has to go. Growth from 0 to 100 always requires an equally weighted shedding of the old. So part of this work is not just adding, it's letting go. All right, this is the part that turns the idea into a body. 6 steps. Do these and you are no longer hoping, you're actually doing the building. Name the identity. Finish this sentence and put it somewhere you will see it every single day. I am becoming the kind of person who, and be specific. Not, I want to lose weight. That's a wish and it points at a thing outside of you. Instead, I am the kind of person who trains 4 times a week and hits my protein no matter how I feel. Now it points at who you are. That's the target. The body is just the proof. Pick one keystone action, just one. The single daily action that proves the identity to be true. For most people, it's one of these 3 things. Train on schedule, hit a protein target, hit a step target. Pick exactly one to anchor on first. I know you want to fix everything at once. Do not. One keystone done relentlessly drags along the rest with it. Make it so small you can't say no. This is where most people get it wrong. They start at 100% intensity, burn out in 2 weeks, and add another failure to their story. Remember that all or nothing mentality we referenced earlier? If 4 workouts a week feels impossible, your first commitment is to just put your shoes on and give it 10 minutes. That's it. Because at the start, the goal is not intensity. The goal is to never miss, so the identity sets like concrete. Consistency first. Intensity comes later, and it comes easily, once you actually believe you are someone who shows up. Track the votes. This is the percentile truth, and here it is. If you want to stand with a top tier of people who have if you want to stand with the top tier of people who have built a body they are proud of, you are going to put in top tier effort. There is no other way. And I will never lie to you about that. But effort is invisible to your own brain unless you make it visible. So track it. Every workout, every log meal, every step. Not to be obsessive, but to build proof. Because watching that evidence pile up week after week is exactly what convinces your brain that you have genuinely changed. Each tracked rep is another vote on the ballot. Shed the equal and opposite. New and made practical. Adding the new is only half of the job. Look at your environment and your daily inputs and find one thing that belongs to the old you and remove it this week. Maybe it's the food you keep buying and telling yourself it's just for the kids. Maybe it's a late night scroll that steals tomorrow's training. Maybe it's the plans that always revolve around drinking. You do not have to overhaul your whole life today. Add one new thing, remove one old thing. That is the trade that makes the change permanent instead of temporary. And lastly, get real eyes on you. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not selling you anything by saying this. The single fastest way to become this person is to have someone who is already this person watching your reps and telling you the truth about your blind spots. That is the whole point of coaching. You can absolutely do every bit of this on your own, and plenty of people do. It's just slower. It is lonelier, and you will spend months guessing at things a good coach would catch in a week. So whatever you choose, build a feedback loop. Someone or something that holds the mirror up and keeps you honest. So let us count the cost honestly, the way Sun Tzu said to. If you want to stand with the top tier of people who have built a body they are genuinely proud of, it is going to take top tier effort. I'm never going to dress that up for you. There is no other way. But here is what nobody tells you about those people. They are not more gifted than you. They were not handed more discipline at birth. They simply decided earlier than everyone around them to become the person first and let the body follow. The cost is real. It's also the best investment that you'll ever make because you do not just get the body. You get the person who is capable of building it. And once you are that person, you never lose that ability again. It is yours for life. You're one decision away from being that person, not one workout. One decision made again and again until it's simply who you are. Now go cast your first vote. Take the first action. Back to our action steps. You're going to name the identity. Finish, I am becoming the kind of person who, with something specific, for example, trains 4 times a week and hits my protein, no matter how I feel, and put it where you see it daily. Number 2 is pick one keystone action. Choose a single daily proof of the identity. Train on schedule, hit a protein target, or hit a step target and anchor on it first. Number 3, make it so small you cannot say no. Start tiny, enough that you never miss, because at the start the goal is consistency, not intensity. Number 4, track the votes. Log every workout, meal, and step so the evidence piles up and convinces you and your brain that you have genuinely changed. Number 5 is shed the equal and opposite. Each week, remove one input that belongs to the old you while you add the new one. And lastly, again, get real eyes on you. Build a feedback loop, a coach or someone who already lives this to hold the mirror up and keep you honest. If this was helpful and you want more content like this, once again, I work with driven and ambitious men, high performers, creators, entrepreneurs, and I help them master health, wealth, and relationships, guiding them toward better habits in how they move, think, eat, and recover. If you want to work with me, then book a one-on-one call by going to the link in the description below. And if you want this training and the document that goes along with it, you can join my free community in the description as well. Peace.